I don't know what's in this person, but I think this person is really weird. And she was the kind of terror teacher.
I was actually really sincere in that prayer because I want God to use me.
I was sexually molested. Hindi ko alam na that was actually a sexual abuse na pala.
And then I realized, kaya pala, he was abused. And so right then, I actually prayed to God. I remember this prayer na, Lord, I will minister to this person.
I explored the homosexual lifestyle. I became a sex addict. Hi,
we are Journey in His Love. I'm Mimie.
And I'm Randy. And Mimie and I have been friends for so long, since 2007.
He has been my students before. And
Student, just one.
yes, student. And so we are actually...
I think we've already been friends for 15 years.
Yes, for 15 years. And we are thankful actually for the Hope Channel team right now. Why?
Hope Channel in Iligan.
That obviously we don't have our own studio, and so they let us use their studio as well as their equipment, and we are really thankful. So,
And this is the very first podcast that we will be releasing in our page. And we really thank the Hope Channel Iligan for their kind heart, for letting us use their studio. Thank you so much. So why this
do
podcast?
why do we start a podcast? You know, we could not be in many places at one time, and so God has impressed us to actually start a podcast so that we will have more reach, and then we could share more a long version, because when we have appointments, somehow it's such a short time, and what we really wanted to share, we cannot like all out share because we do not have time. Time is always a constraint.
By the way, Mimi and I are Christian believers.
Yes.
And our friendship has been a long, painful, and hard, and a lot of learning. It's a journey. That's why we call this
Journey in His
Journey
Love.
in His Love, because it is by the love of Christ that we are brought together here. And that's what we would like to share to our viewers.
In our first 3 parts of our testimony.
We will share it here in our podcast, Journey in His Love.
Yes.
So we do have a Facebook page, and then we will be setting up the podcast in Spotify, and then Instagram, and wherever social media we
And
can.
I think we will just flash the accounts
Yes.
down below, so you can click and follow us. On Instagram, we will also have our TikTok, Facebook, and our YouTube channel.
So, Randy, so how did this all start?
I think it all started when Mimi and I met in school.
Yes.
She has a kind of a reputation back then. She was labeled as a terror teacher.
I'm not proud of it, by the way.
The first time I saw her, I was in the church, and she was in the church. She was sitting in one of the pews. I don't know, but I kind of felt weird. I thought to myself that I don't know what's in this person, but I think this person is really weird. I don't know what's with her. And at the time, the rumor
So weird.
was already spreading that she was the kind of terror teacher. And I didn't know that it was her that the people were referring to. So at that time, the first time I saw her,
Sa school.
yes, at school, I did not feel the same feeling that the students share about you, because I don't know you personally and I don't know your face. But then, because I took up nursing, and she was one of my clinical instructors in the College of Nursing. And when we had the subject psychiatric nursing, because we were
nursing,
teaching psych nursing, I found out that my teacher, nung nakatingin ako sa list, my teacher there was Amarillo. And everyone was talking that Amarillo is terror teacher and mababagsak ka talaga if siya yung CI mo. So, I was like, my classmates, I remember my classmates were like even crying because of that. And then I didn't know that it was her. And then when we went to Cebu, because our psychiatric nursing was in Cebu, and then that was the first time that I saw. No, we had a theory class first. Yeah, when I saw her in the theory class, I realized that it was her that I saw first in the church, na feeling ko, weird tong taong to. Hindi ko alam, hindi ko mapinpoint, basta weird siya. I didn't feel yung parang may takot ako na mababang sa kanya. I don't know. I just don't have that kind of feeling. It's just something na parang magaan or something. I could not explain why God brought us together. And when I say together, I'm not saying now we're together as partner, but we're
Partner in
together.
ministry, but no romantic
No
things.
romantic involvement.
We just want to make that clear. It's friendship, and it's spiritual friendship and
Yes.
friendship. In fact, we call each other friend. We just wanted to put it there.
Yeah. So, what about you? How the way you remember things, paano mo ako na-meet back then?
Okay, so I was actually starting with my journey with God as well. I started having my own personal devotional life, and I remembered reading the book Christ Triumphant as devotional book, and I was praying, and there was in that point sa devotional where it says, God wanted to use your talents. And I was saying, Lord, what are my talents? I can speak, but I'm not really a preacher. I can play piano, pero church na lang naman. I don't really know, because my definition of a talent is something na in the stage. You can sing, you can preach.
Nasa pulpit.
Nasa pulpit. But hindi pala ganun. So, what I actually prayed that night before I saw you was that I prayed, Lord, use me and place me where you can use me best.
And this was Friday night, diba? Na nagpe-pray
And
ka.
then the morning, I was actually really sincere in that prayer because I want God to use me. Many students look at me na terror nga. Hello para sa mga students ko na
Nabagsak.
and hate me until now. I'm so sorry. And so I was there. In the morning, I saw Randy, he looks very angry and so much baggage. It looks like he's carrying a baggage. So there was a really, really deep impression na that's what I'm giving you, a ministry. I'm like, what's with him, Lord? Kasi I only knew him in your psychiatric nursing. I let you have your self-awareness, because before you go to psychiatric nursing, you have self-awareness. And so I let them have this activity where they need to write a letter to our younger self. So anong sinulat mo dun?
Sinulat ko dun, actually, my background when I was still young. I was sexually molested. And back then, hindi ko alam na that was actually a sexual abuse na pala. I was so innocent that time that clueless ako. I don't know that it was molestation na pala. And that was the first time that I wrote a letter to my younger self. I opened up kung ano nangyari when I was young, that I was molested. And pinasa ko sa'yo. Dahil nga, I told you na early on na magaan yung feeling ko sa'yo. I don't know why, and I cannot explain why. So, nag-open up ako sa'yo. That's how I opened up. And then, pinasa ko sa'yo. But then, hindi mo binasa, diba?
I did not actually read it at first because there are many students who have so many issues. I pledged to myself, I only will read it if there's already a problem sa duty. If there's some symptoms na, so I'll read it. And then, God impressed me. I actually invited him for lunch. Basta students, they like food. And so, I invited him for lunch, and then we ate, and then in my mind, I need to read this. There's something about this person. So, when I went home, I read your letter to your younger self.
Yung assignment ko.
Oo. And then I realized, kaya pala, because he was abused. And so, right then, I actually prayed to God. I remember this prayer na, Lord, I will minister to this person. I
will reach out to him, and I promise you that I will pray for him.
No matter what. I did not have that vow to Randy. I made that vow to the Lord to actually reach out to him. And so, right then, after a few days, yata, you asked me to be your...
One of our sponsors.
Yes.
When I say sponsors, parang faculty advisor, baga.
Sa singing group.
Singing group namin. Kasi back then in 2007, I formed a vocal group in our school. And it's still existing up to now, since 2007. And you are our pioneering advisor.
So, I really don't know what that entails. I just said...
I remember, buong members, against sila. Ayaw nilang i-invite ka as an advisor. Kasi nga, because of your reputation.
Yeah.
Ganun. They were questioning, are you sure? But then for myself, kasi na-experience ko na eh. Yeah, I was your student. So, I know, okay naman. But why don't we give it a try? Kaya I invited you.
So I said yes because pray ko naman kay Lord, di ba, na Lord, place me and use me where you can, fully use me. So, siguro ito na yon. So, I said yes without knowing what that entails. And we have so many stories about that's another topic of what happened when I became a sponsor sa singing group. There's so much spiritual growth in their friendship, family. So, my question sa'yo, how does your abuse affected you?
It affected me in so many ways kasi when I was abused, I was very young at that time. Siguro hindi pa ako nag-aaral. Let's say preschooler ako. I could
So,
not
who
really...
abused you?
It's a distant relative na lalaki. He stayed in our house kasi he needs to go to college. And kasi yung bahay namin, ang daming,
Come and go.
Yeah, ang dami ng taong nag-i-stay, umaalis, kasi napaka-hospitable talaga ng parents ko. And relatives, cousins, even people na hindi namin relatives, kaano-ano, nag-i-stay doon. So long as kaya naman at kayang isiksik. Marami na rin pamilya ang dumaan sa bahay namin. And my parents didn't know that it was happening behind closed doors. Na it was repeatedly happening. And
So, yung nag-abuse sa'yo, lalaki?
Lalaki. And at that time, I felt like na parang growing up, I don't see na mali siya. Na parang nagets ko lang na it is
It's supposed to be secret.
Na secret. Kasi sinasarado namin yung pinto eh. So, parang secret to, hindi pwedeng ipagsabi sa iba. And not only that, while that is happening, may kalaro din ako na it was because of television at that time. Nung time na yun, black and white pa yung television. But because of media, siguro, that is how I interpreted it. And yung kalaro kong batang lalaki din, he experimented kissing sa akin. Kasi, nakikita niyo yung mga kabataan na, pag may nag-aalikan na sa television, close your eyes, yung mga ganun. So, that also made
doon mo na-realize na you are attracted to sa lalaki?
Hindi naman I'm attracted sa lalaki kasi
you remember?
Wala akong idea talaga eh. I think I thought it was just a play. Wala talaga akong form.
Pero before that abuse, you remember 'di ba na you actually like girls?
Yeah, kasi nung kinder ako, pag pumapasok ako sa eskwelahan, hinahalikan ko lahat ng mga babae sa
na
mga classmates ko. Kahit umiyak pa sila, ganun ako, may pagkabully din. But then it all changed kasi
sa abuse.
After that abuse, I remember
Repeated yun.
Repeated. I remember na withdrawn na ako sa mga playmates ko na lalaki. But I don't know, there's just something in me na withdraw ako, hindi ako madaling makipag-friends. And even up to now, na parang
more comfortable
hindi ako comfortable.
Friends na babae.
I'm more inclined to make friends with female.
Pero how about yung view mo sa father mo, yung father figure mo? How was it growing up?
Growing up, yung father ko is a very hardworking person. And na-misinterpret ko yung expression ng love niya. Kasi yung iba-iba tayo ng love language eh. My father's love language was act of service. But what I was looking back then, yung talagang sana ganito yung father ko. I wanted a father na expressive, na sasabihin sa'yo, I
like
love
your
you,
mom
anak.
na expressive talaga.
Like my mom, kasi mama's boy ako. Gusto ko yung hinahalikan ka, hinahag ka, sinasabi sa'yo na I love you, ganun. But my father was not like that. So I grew up thinking na less yung affection ng father ko sa akin.
So,
and it impacted me growing up kasi parang detached ako sa father ko.
So,
and
wala kang you're not having a father figure na
in a way, yeah. Yung isang brother ko, he went to the States. Grade 6 pa ako. So I grew up without them.
So yung playmate mo, yung sister
naman,
mo?
yung isang brother ko naman is malayo na, nasa malayong lugar na nagsasarili. Ganon. May sariling buhay na din. Kaya I grew up without any parang role model sa family na male. Ganon.
So how did your addiction started? Parang, di ba, when did you realize na, ay, gusto ko yung lalaki?
Grade 2. Kasi sabi ko sa ate ako, napaka-innocent ko ng time na yun. Sabi ko, ate, may crush ako. Tapos sabi niya, anong pangalan? So, ganito ang pangalan. Hindi ko na sasabihin, baka mapanood niya. Ganito ang pangalan. Tapos tumawa siya, sabi niya, lalaki yan, ba't yan yung crush mo, bakla ka siguro, mga ganun. I don't even have any idea kung ano yung bakla na time na yun. So, I thought to myself, sabi ko, ay, mali pala. So, mali pala. So, parang, nakakahiya pala yun. So, that time, I remembered, I struggled in secret. Kasi,
ay, di pala
ayokong i-express kung ano talaga yung nararamdaman ko. Kasi,
mali pala to.
Mali, nakakahiya pala baka pagtawanan ako ng mga tao. And hindi lang din yun. I think may bullying din na nangyayari sa when I was growing up. Kasi babae yung mga kalaro ko the whole time. So medyo mainhin ako, feminine, and my classmates were calling me names, all this, and yung worst pa dun is yung sa Bisaya kasi. Meron kasing name calling na ang mga bayot ilansang sa krus managanta. So, yung ibig sabihin doon, in translation na all of the homosexuals will be crucified on the cross and all of us will just run away from them. So, I grew up thinking,
it made you view God na ganun?
It made me view God as a very punitive God na He's just there to punish me if I feel this way na magkakakasya ko sa classmate ko na lalaki na he will burn me to hell, ganon. Ipapako sa cross and I will be persecuted like that. It really made an impact kasi I was not close to my father, which should be a father figure, a figure of Jesus and God in the whole. And then meron pa akong ganong thinking na
God does not love you?
Does not love me. He's just there to punish me. And
kasi you have wrong attractions.
Yes. So, that's how...
So, how did you, compensate with that? Kasi bullying is there eh.
Yeah, I really longed for... I really longed for respect. Yun.
So, how did you gain
when
respect?
I was in high school, I realized na, magaling pala akong mag-drawing. Kaya ko palang kumanta, magaling pala ako, yung ganito, and then may iba pa akong talent, piano pa ako, competitive, and then pwede pala akong mag-achieve sa school and all. And talagang lahat ng extracurricular activities, sinalihan ko, pageant, nag-cheerleader ako, sports, school government, editor-in-chief ako ng school paper namin, painting competitions, drawing competitions, singing competitions. Nakakahingal, no? Parang pagod ako sa high school ko. All because I just wanted to
gain respect.
And I just wanted to walk down the aisle na with heads up high na I'm proud of myself kasi nagagawa ko, hindi nyo nagagawa. So you have to respect me. But wala eh. I still did not get the respect that I wanted. So it really made me so broken inside. Which I do not really know.
When I met you, you were really angry. You may be like playful and, with your group mates and all that. But when we really interacted, I can sense the anger. The anger inside you na I tangible siya na anger. And somehow sa singing group na you founded na sponsor ako, I can see when that comes out, the anger.
Yun siguro yung parang coping defense to keep me sane. Siguro I was angry na my parents did not do anything about it kasi hindi nila alam.
You were able to tell me like before pa na, I just remember it now na, that feeling na they are supposed to protect you. Yung na-realize mo na na-abuse ka, they're supposed to be watching over you. You should not have been abused had he they've
If they
been
protected me.
you, and then if they have not welcomed those type of people. So
Mhm.
parang may anger din doon.
Unconscious anger. Kasi hindi ko alam talaga.
But you were not able to tell them then.
Alam ko na may anger issues ako. Especially nung nag-college ako, doon ko na talaga nakita na parang may anger issues talaga ako. Kasi just
saw those.
in a snap, talagang nag-iiba yung mood ko na galit ako sa mundo, hindi ko alam kung bakit. Hindi ko
You even
ma-explain.
bang your head, right? Yung noon.
Aha.
That's how angry you were yung sa group.
Yep.
So, how about the addiction? How did it, yung abuse mo, how did it lead to your addiction?
To my addiction. Wrong kind of friends. No, elementary pa. And then,
How did that-
kasi when I was abused, talagang it opened my mind to what fornication is. Hindi ko siya tatawaging sex. Kasi sex is holy. According to the Bible, sex is
It was
holy.
given by God for very
In
wonderful
the
purpose.
institution of marriage, within the institution of marriage. So, it's fornication talaga. And,
You're-
may concept na ako kung ano yun. Kung ano yung ginagawa
Pero
ng babae at
yung
lalaki.
innocence mo nawala.
Wala talaga.
Kasi
Early on, kinder
you
pa
were
ako.
abused.
Hindi na ako inosente. Alam ko na yun, yung bagay na yun eh. Kasi, habang ako ay tumatanda, nafo-form na yun, concept na yun sa mind ko. And so, I remember I was grade 6, nagdo-drawing ako. Kasi mahilig ako mag-drawing. Nagdo-drawing ako ng nude.
Oh, that could have,
Hindi ko
if
pa
your
na-share
teacher,
sa'yo to, no?
if your
Na-
teacher could have known about psychology,
Malalaman
malalaman niya, no?
Yeah.
Yun, pero siguro wala.
Yeah, and two people copulating. Nude talaga.
You draw
Nakikita
that?
yun, dinodrawing ko yun, nakikita yun ng ng mga iba
Teacher
kong
mo?
kaklase.
Oh, okay.
Oo, they
You
even
haven't
threatened
said
me na
it.
ipakita na sa ano.
Ngayon
mga
ko
ganun.
mo lang nasabi yan.
Ngayon ko lang naalala. And then, it led me to discover masturbation at a very young age. And then, when I discovered that, it started with magazines, and then it progressed to pornographic CDs. I was so addicted with pornography to the point na nagnakaw ako ng CD. Kasi wala akong pambili. I was still a student at the time. So wala akong pambili. Nagnakaw ako ng pornographic CD just to fulfill my desires. And I was so addicted with pornography, even until college. And then, iba namang addiction after college.
So, anong addiction yan after college?
After college, din ako nag-start mag-explore. I explored the homosexual lifestyle. Kung ano yung nandun, what's really in it. I just want to have a taste. And then, babalik lang din ako. I just want to explore. Ganun. Alam mo yun? I encountered and met several different guys.
So-
Until I got addicted with fornication. Hindi ko sasabing sex ha. I got addicted with fornication.
That come to a point na...
Which people call sex addict. I became a sex addict.
So, what I was learning now is actually your abuse led you to your innocence na mawala at very early age. So
It opened a door na
parang-
hindi supposedly na-open pa.
But because of that, your innocence has been stripped, and then you go down to that path.
And I think it will go back to, biblically speaking, it says there in Exodus 20 na visiting
The
the
iniquity.
iniquity of the father
To the
upon the children, and to the
the
third and fourth generation.
Okay.
Yung father ko, he committed adultery. And he was not faithful.
Sa mama
And
noon.
Sexually, he was not holy. And even yung grandfather ko molested a young girl. And I realized na sa science, may tawag dyan epigenetics. Na yung behavioral traits na papasa sa third and fourth generation talaga. Yun specifically. And then, it's just
Amazing, no?
amazing na it was already been said by the Bible first.
But
Na-
it doesn't determine our destiny. Hindi naman.
Hindi, it should not determine our destiny.
Mm-mm.
But of course, we are
We
living
do.
in a world where we are not warring.
Satan is there then.
We are not warring
Oo.
against flesh and blood. It's against principalities.
Alam ni Satan anong i-trigger niya sa'yo.
Alam ni Satan kung anong doors ang i-open niya sa akin.
Kasi may
Kasi
may tendencies ka
may
na.
tendencies na naipasa sa akin, and it's a generational sin.
So, isang ganun na lang, you can go that path. Kasi may tendencies na eh. Parang, as a nurse pala kaming dalawa. As a nurse, parang, it's like, may predisposing factors ka na. Like,
Yes.
precipitating na ganito, may practice
May trigger.
na wrong, may ma-trigger, pwede ka na magkasakit ng ganyan. Parang, something like that.
Kung sa sakit, ha?
Sa sakit. Oo.
When we speak about pathophysiology, baka anong isipin nila ng sakit.
Hindi siya sakit, but it's
So,
traits.
yeah, it became my character. No, kasi one habit will lead to repeated habits will
Practices.
become your addiction, and then it will become your
Characters.
character. If you find this content helpful in your life's journey, share, hit like, subscribe, and follow Journey in His Love on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify. How did you come to that realization na you thought na you think you're better than I? So you really did?
I realized that I have become very self-righteous and prideful. Kaya pala, the students hate me.
I texted you na you will always be the source of my rebellion. That was year 2015. I met a guy. I was really looking for acceptance. He confessed to me that he is HIV positive. I accepted the relationship.
You know what? Grabe. I was exhausted na parang, Lord, parang 9 years na. Nothing is happening.